Well, hello folks, and welcome back to Arcanum. I've already done like the next 5 minutes of stuff that I'm gonna do, and unfortunately Camtasia crashed after like 5 minutes, and I'm having to do this all again. But before we leave this town, there's a couple things we're gonna do before we head to Toronto. One is we're gonna bash the hell out of this vase. It's locked, but Krugmar, from my previous experience... Let me unlock my game. Krugmar does not have the lockpicking to pick that in a timely manner. I could do it after 10 minutes, but I'm not doing it again. And inside that jar, that vase there, is a vial that still has traces of the poison it once contained. I came down here wanting to talk to that lady again one more time before I just leave town. She was gone, and that vase was all that was left. I'm going to assume, because I already know that this is what we need to free our little buddy down here. Let's talk to this guard. Back again, eh? Well, here's the proof you need to convict Sharp. He looks at the empty poison vial. This is not possible. Elves don't kill each other. It just doesn't happen. He shakes his head. I should have known with them living in the same house. Acting as if they were married. What do you mean? Our village is our family. Romantic love may be something some of us play at when we're young, but no self-respecting adult shuts himself apart from the community that way. It disrupts the communal flow. Well, obviously Sharp was bent on ruining your social order here. I knew something like this would happen eventually. Those freaks trying to ruin Kintara with their marriage. It all makes sense now. So I assume you'll be releasing Jormund, correct? Of course, he is free to go. I'll be sending some men around to arrest that anarchist as well. Good luck finding him. I think he bailed a long time ago. Thank you for clearing my name. You're welcome. Here is the staff I promised you. You're always welcome in my home. Aren't you going to leave now that Wrath is dead, though? You're free. I am sure that I will take my leave of this place soon enough. First, I must decide where I am off to, though, eh? Well, I could have him adventure with me. Your group looks too crowded for me. So, Jaina... It's really tempting to leave Jaina behind. A hunting rifle. I'm just gonna take this from you. You can just use the axe. I'm tired of being hit. But it's really tempting to kick Jaina out of the party. The only reason I'm not going to is because he is a mage. And I have no use for mages in my party. He can't heal me. Actually, you know what? Depending on the type of mage he is, he might be useful. It's like, okay, do I want to take him now? I'm trying to talk myself into it. Staff of Zornath. 1 through 4 damage. 2 through 9 fatigue. And whatever TH plus 25 means. Total health? I don't know. I'm probably going to end up selling it. I should take him. I really should. He's 53 neutral to me. Jaina is 28 and suspicious. The biggest problem is that he's only level 20. And I'm not going to be leveling up very quick from here on out. I'm level 44. I've got 1 point to spend. Question is... what do I want to level up? If I even want to level up anything. Mechanized. Oh, that's right. I was leveling this up. That's what I was focusing on. So next level, I'll be able to make the mechanized arachnid. And hopefully that armor. Jormund, have fun in your travels here. If for some reason I get sick and tired of Jaina dealing with her, I might just come back for you, though. So, find out about Mengurad, and then report back to Raven. Find out about Renford A. Terwilliger, who I'm going to assume Bates might know something of, or maybe the Phrenological Society or something like that. Other than that, I'm probably not going to kill a Valar's Wisp. I don't want to run around and just try to bump into one. And I don't know if I'll be getting any Mithril for that guy either. I don't care about magic items. They don't do anything for me. The experience might be nice, depending on how much it is, but whatever. Are you ready, Jaina? You know what? Can I rest here until I'm healed? Before we set out on this little adventure. I don't think there's anything else over here that we need to go see, either. No, don't load it. Let's save it. I also hadn't saved it since we talked to the Silver Lady when the last episode crashed. So I had to talk to her all over again. Falcon's Egg. You know, I could probably run down here and find some locations, but I'm really not in the mood for it. And cool, it actually does let me pass through. I was slightly worried. It's like I really don't want to run through this area on foot again. I feel like I'm kind of out of places to explore at this point. We've hacked and slashed our way successfully through just about every obstacle thrown in my path since getting this wonderful, beautiful, magnificent weapon. And the days fly by. At the speed I'm making it through this game, it might be the early 1900s by the time I beat it. Okay. You know what? I'm going to save it again just because that journey went far smoother than it should have. We didn't get ambushed by 16 packs of wolves and a bunch of suicidal kites. Before we go anywhere, we are going to go talk to Gilbert Bates. I'm sure he has something to say about this whole situation. Or at least I would hope so. The only other person I can really think about talking to in this town is that one Dark Elf we did business with. In what, the Gentleman's Club, I think? Or maybe there's still something we need to do in the Gentleman's Club. Somebody we need to meet. Hello, Gilbert.
You have returned. Tell me, what news?
I have found no new information since we last spoke. Bullcrap. I went and spoke to the Silver Lady. I know a lot of new stuff. This extremely large ogre grunts at us without shifting his heavy-lidded gaze. Heard. Okay. Well, Gilbert Bates doesn't know anything. That's one of my ideas. Scratched off the list. Hopefully it wasn't those brigands down in the sewers that I killed. You know. Department of Water Clerk. This is, where am I? I don't really need to get a plan of the sewers game. We've already cleared out all of the sewers. This also had all the records for people. Hall of Records Clerk. Perhaps you can answer a few more questions. Can you help me locate an individual? Haha! I was actually thinking we were going to get information on the Dark Elf here, but never mind. Renford A. Terwilliger. The clerk begins looking through the records. My apologies, sir. There does not seem to be an individual by that name in Toronto. Well, crap. I was told that he could be found here. Sadly, the census is not 100% accurate. Perhaps it would be wise to check some earlier records. Yes, maybe we should. Yes, sir. How far back do you wish to inquire? It was like 150 years ago, so 100 through 200. Because I remember, yeah, it was something the elf said that gave me that impression. There does not seem to be an individual by that name in Toronto. Okay, 50 to 100 years. Oh, good news, sir. Renford A. Terwilliger, human, born unknown, died 1804, right here in Toronto. Well, this would explain why we were unable to locate him living in Toronto. Do you wish me to retrieve his obituary? Yes, please. Ah, yes, here we are. Renford A. Terwilliger, 1804, author of Tesn-Ang, Horror Among the Dark Elves, was found dead in his home today. His death appears to have occurred amongst mysterious circumstance. The authorities are calling for further investigation. Oh my, what a dreadful incident. Tesn-Ang. Horror Among the Dark Elves, okay. Are there any books contained here? If it's books you are in search of, you should view the Library of Toronto. They have an extensive collection. Okay. Never mind. I was really wanting information on that Dark Elf. I don't know why I would assume that he would be here, but I wasn't expecting Terwillager. It's a fortunate bit of luck. The Zoological Society. I don't think I need anything in there. Find out about Renford A. You know, this place does have a graveyard, right? I faintly remember something about a graveyard. I could be wrong. I might be confusing it with Ashbury, I think. It seems like a town of this size should probably have a graveyard, yep. There's no way that he's in here. I don't even think I've actually explored this place now that I think about it. We went into the other graveyard simply because that necromancer needed something. Human wizard, level 25. Lorem. Greetings to you. Who are you? Of course, I am Perriman Smith, recent graduate of the College of Phantasm, and representative from Tula, City of Mages. Very nice to make your acquaintance, sir. Yours as well. Do you have a moment? Certainly. Oh, you could train me to be an expert healer? What brings you to Toronto, Perriman? Oh, nothing in particular, really. Just traveling and whatnot. I hadn't really seen anything beyond the walls of Tula before a few weeks ago. The young mage smiles a little sheepishly. You might say I've lived quite a sheltered life. What is Tula like? I've never even heard of it. Tula? Oh, it's absolutely breathtaking. It's located deep within the Oasis of Mist, hidden for centuries from the outside world. The black windowless tower of Simone Tor, encircled by the stone mansions of the Master Mages, where they practice the oldest and most powerful magics. What else? Well, in the middle of the great courtyard is Pelagian's Pool, where it's said that the spirit of the great conjurer still comes to watch over all the apprentices. And in the early evening, as the sun sets over the Vendigroth wastes, you can hear the haunting harmony of the soul singers, as they weave melodies with their otherworldly counterparts. I want to go there. It sounds horrible. Are there dementors there as well? Tula? Sorry, my friend. I am under oath to never reveal that secret. I see. So why did you leave there? Oh, well, I was sent to Toronto on a... how would one phrase it? A mission, I suppose you would call it. Mr. Simeon felt I was best qualified for the job, and so to Toronto I went. And I've just spent 2 weeks with Mr. Willowsby recovering from my mission. Quite an adventure, I must say. I can only imagine. Well, what happened? Well, here's a newspaper describing what happened as a result of the whole affair. He hands one to us. I'd rather not get into the whole story, but I have been approached by a gentleman who seems very interested in writing a short book about what happened. Sir Chadwick Moore or some such. Rather bothersome fellow, but he seemed rather insistent. Okay, I'll take a look at it. You mentioned a Master Simeon. Who is that? Master Simeon Tor. He's the greatest mage in all of Arcanum. As leader of the Tulan Assembly, it is his responsibility to oversee all that happens within the walls of Tula, and much of what happens without. He's a hard man, but fair, and extremely powerful. He's a master in the College of Summoning, and learned in many others as well. So, I'm pretty sure I've already asked you what Tula is like. Yep, got a few more questions for you, maybe. Perhaps we could travel together. An interesting proposition. You do seem well-traveled, friend. But what are you doing out in the world? What brings you all the way to Toronto? I'll tell him. It's not like my legend isn't growing at this point. I see. He's quiet for some time, reflecting on what we have told him. So what you're telling me is that your whole adventure has spawned from an untimely incident you experienced while on the blimp? The IFS Zephyr? Yeah, actually. Well, I must say that I've never heard a more interesting story in all my life, and I thought I had been through quite a harrowing experience. So you want to join me? Jaina. He's level 25, so he's much closer to being able to catch up to me. Is all I can say. Excuse me, guard. Yes, what do you want? I want to get into this crypt here. I have a feeling maybe it's Renford's. Quote the Raven Nevermore. Do any of these have names or dates on them? Here lies an atheist. I don't know if Renford was an atheist. He also was not a beloved mother. Renford A. Terwilliger, author and historian. I've still got my trusty shovel. Excuse me, guard. Could you turn your back? Just keep walking. Can I really not, like, dig this up? Here lies a man who died. So maybe I can't do anything with his grave? Maybe... What I need, obviously, is a resurrection scroll. That is my shovel, right? Yes. I think it tries to use it when I do this. It's at least making my character look that direction. Okay. What did you do? Train wreck at Vermilion Station. Oh no. Disaster leads to several arrests. On Friday evening, the Brackenton line was derailed by magical influences, injuring numerous bystanders and passengers. The incident followed an attack on Councilman Edward Willowsby and Tulin mage Perriman Smith by local bandits. Smith's retaliation led to the train wreck. Later that evening, Willowsby and Smith were accosted once again at the Willowsby mansion. Intervention by Smith and an unidentified gentleman led to the arrest of multiple individuals, one of them a powerful mage. Willowsby was uncharacteristically close-mouthed about the affair. This was a private affair, and has been dealt with in that manner, Smith said. He might spend some more time in the city, but plans to avoid Vermilion Station, said Smith. Dreadful affair. I'd rather forget the whole thing. Okay. So, I'm curious. I'm gonna save it because Jaina's probably gonna bitch at me. I don't care if she leaves at this point, though. So what do we got in here? Way down. Down we go. This is about where Terwilliger would have been buried at. All we gotta do is dig up another locked door? Oh, and it was poisoned. Cool. And there's traps down here. Don't worry, Jaina. Just follow in my footsteps. I'll take all of the slings and arrows and creepy gunshots. Don't fail lockpicking. And of course you jammed it. You succeed after you fail. I'm curious. Aha, if I preemptively hit escape while holding Alt, it's much easier to get my mouse back. Oh shit. I'm dying. You good for nothing healer back there? What do you even do, Jaina? You're rubbish. You know what, this... Depending on how long this is, let's see. Sense invisible traps. Did I use that? I think I did. I right-clicked. It's possible it failed. Since I don't exactly have any magical ability, I'm actually a magic black hole. It's probably just like a chance to work for me. Weapon dropped. Really? You know what? I don't need that newspaper. I want my axe more than anything. That's the only thing valuable on me. Freaking traps everywhere. Am I gonna find like a dwarf down here? Gone crazy? There's enough locked doors, that's for sure. Creepy old music. What? Gilbert Bates, huh? Servant's clothing. Why does Gilbert Bates servant's dress? Why does he have a booby-trapped entrance from the freaking graveyard? Good day to you, citizen. None of these doors are locked, so it's not like he's trying to hide anything. What the what the hell was the point of that? What shouldn't is that must be his safe escape route, I'm guessing. I've seen this in Oblivion before. I know what's going on. So none of my ideas have panned out. Obtain a copy of Horror Among the Dark Elves. Oh man, that's right. So his grave was a bust. That tomb crypt was a bust. I should probably just go to the library that I think is up here, if I'm not mistaken. It's a shame the Hall of Records didn't have anything. Really, you guys want to try and start something? I'm going to kill all of you. You were easy experience for me. Armor damaged. Run for your life. Skid 'em, Jaina. I'm so proud of you sometimes. And then other times I question why I even bother. And in fact, while I'm in town, I should probably make a little bit of an effort to get a sweet roll for her. Now, some of you are like, probably just like, leave her behind. I can't. I just can't. We've been through too much together, even if we grow to hate each other a little bit. Hello, librarian. You don't happen to have Tesn-Ang, Horror Among the Dark Elves, do you? I have the money for my membership, please. I guess I would need a membership first. 2,000 coins? Fucking highway robbery. That's horrible. I should have been paying attention. I completely forgot how much she said I needed to pay. Ooh, that book sounds spooky. Well, does the library have it, or is it too spooky for your sensibilities? Do you know who the author would be? Yeah, Renford A. Terwilliger. Wait here a moment. I'll go and look. I'm sorry, sir, but I was not able to find it. However, I did find another book that may be of interest to you. Okay, and what book would that be? The book is titled Curse of Tesn-Ang. It appears to be a book about the one you're searching for. Is this going to curse me if I take it? Let me check it out. Yes, sir, of course. Thank you. Is there anything else? That's it. So, I'm going to open this and get cursed, right? No? Maybe? By Kendrick Wells. In the following pages, I, Kendrick Wells, will attempt to explain in the plainest words possible the mysteries surrounding Renford A. Terwilliger and his controversial work known as Horror Among the Dark Elves. Many of the stories I will present to you are both strange and frightening, but I give you my word as an author and a scholar that they are the truth. Decide yourself, after the facts are presented, whether or not you will dare to believe them. Renford A. Terwilliger was born in 1750. His fabled trip to the Glimmering Forest was made in 1768, his 18th year. He was indeed, as per his book, accompanied by an elven tracker named Jarin Banal. Records housed within the Tarantian Zoological Society validate this fact. Mr. Banal was never heard from nor seen again after the expedition. As for Mr. Terwilliger's account of his adventures in the elven city of Kantara, or his supposed discovery of the mythical Tesn-Ang, no one can be sure. Most scholars and collectors of literature assume that Mr. Terwilliger's book is a work of fiction, and as such fantastical literature was all the rage at the time, I might be inclined to agree. Yet one must only look upon the events following the publication of Horror Among the Dark Elves to see that he very well may have found something deep within the glimmering that was never, ever meant to be found. There are very few copies of the book ever published. Records concerning the initial print run are scarce, but it is believed that no more than 100 were ever released to the public. 4 days after the book was shipped to Torontian bookstores, the factory that printed it was burned to the ground. The owner, a Mr. Jeremiah Gomes, was found in his home, brutally murdered by an unknown assailant. The 4 bookstores that had purchased the volume for sale in Toronto suffered the same fate. Only 15 copies of the book were sold before the final store was destroyed. Those 15 copies became an immediate collector's item. Enormous sums of money were paid for the remaining volumes. After a few months, the books had fallen into various respected collections across Arcanum. Each and every one of the owners of the books began to complain of strange happenings once the book was in their possession. All of them told of frightening noises and visions, shadowy figures following them wherever they went, unexplained illnesses, and untimely deaths. Many attributed this to paranoia, a trite brand of sensationalism to create an even greater demand for the book. Unfortunately, their fears were all too justified. All of them were dead within 5 years of the initial publication, their volumes either stolen, burned, or disfigured beyond recognition. Indeed, they had suffered what came to be known as the curse of Tesn-Ang. Mr. Terwilliger, strangely enough, lived a relatively long life, cursed in his own way to witness the evil fruits of his labors. He saw himself as the cause of these horrors, and wrote extensively of it within his memoirs. The following is an excerpt from them, only days before he died in his sleep. I will never forgive myself for what I have unleashed upon the world. Had I the courage, I would travel again to the Glimmering, and unleash holy vengeance upon those evil creatures that have plagued our fair land and its peoples. Alas, I no longer have the strength, nor the power, and now there is only my own end that I pray for every day. Until just a few short months ago, it was thought that there were no remaining copies of horror among the Dark Elves. After an exhaustive investigation, I have found that this is not at all the case. The last known copy of the book, owned by the famed book collector M. Philip Misk, was thought to have perished with its owner in a fire almost 50 years ago. Now, with new evidence presented by a reliable source, I have discovered that Mr. Misk's son, Victor Misk of Caledon, still has the copy in his possession, and is hiding it for fear that the curse will again visit his family. I pray that the evil let loose in the Glimmering has finally been put to rest, and I pray that Mr. Misk and his family avoid the fate that has befallen every other soul who has challenged the curse of Tesn-Ang. Okay, that sucks. At least we didn't get cursed, but apparently everyone who ever read that book or owned it did. Maybe it's a good thing that that library didn't have the book. It probably would have burnt down ages ago. Before we leave town and head to Caledon, in order to try and track down our own copy of the book rather foolishly, I want to see if I can get some sweet rolls in this town. I may do a little bit of inventory management off-screen since we're finally back here. Joffrey's Gears and Gadgetries. I don't care about Joffrey. Fortifier. If only it was a recipe for sweet rolls. I don't actually think you're gonna have any. It's a food item. I mean, you've got bread. Bread is close to a sweet roll, right, Jaina? Can we make a compromise here, by chance? Grant's Tavern. Can't actually buy anything in here. Level 32. Surrounded by bodyguards. I don't even want to talk to him. I'm sure it'll just end up in a bar brawl. What do you got to buy and sell? Garbage, I'm presuming? Sweet cakes. We get one thing of sweet cakes. I'm going to just hang on to them until I end up pissing her off somehow. And at least then I will have them. So, I'm going to end the video here. Whenever we come back, I'm going to have done a bunch of inventory and sorted things out. And then we're going to be on our way to Caledon. Let's see what we can discover down there.